Hey, welcome to a new video. The ocean might as well be an alien world that lies beneath our feet, with mysterious creatures, ancient unidentifiable artifacts, and unexplained phenomena that occur without our noticing. But every now and then, a diver comes across something that can be pretty terrifying.
Are you new to this channel? Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And before we start, also like the video.
If you're diving in the ocean and come across this object, it's likely to give you quite a start. The Underwater Art Diver Skull Park in Florida is a unique and innovative concept that combines art and marine conservation. This park is part of the first permanent underwater museum of art, which opened in June 2018. It's located in the Gulf of Mexico off the coast of Grayton Beach State Park in South Walton, Florida. One of the sculptures is the Swirl Skull, created by artist Vince Tatum. This skull sculpture submerged underwater adds a spooky element for divers encountering it during their dive. The presence of the skull underwater provides divers with a unique and immersive experience as they explore the intersection of art and the marine environment. Access to the area is free, and divers interested in exploring the park can reach the location by taking a dive.
According to Greek legends, Heracleion was an ancient Egyptian city located near Nile Delta. About 1500 years ago, it was the most important port of Egypt and was used for international trade. This city would have been a myth until one day it was found at a depth of 10 meters near the Bay of Abu Qir in the Mediterranean Sea. According to researchers, the area was plagued by heavy flooding and earthquakes that eventually caused everything to sink into the ocean. In 2001, a number of divers led by Frank Gaudio found remains of a large historical temple and several statues. Moments later, sonar technology was used, and they found underwater ruins containing 64 ships, piles of gold, jewelry, and numerous coins. They also found giant statues of an Egyptian king and queen, and even a statue thought to be Cleopatra's father. Furthermore, they found a stone with hieroglyphs which showed how they intended to raise taxes for the trade they were doing.
The Atlas structure in the ocean off the coast of the Bahamas is an incredible underwater sculpture known as Ocean Atlas. Created by artist Jason DeCaires Taylor, this monumental artwork is part of the Sir Nicholas Natel Coral Reef Sculpture Garden. The Ocean Atlas sculpture depicts a female figure of Atlas, inspired by the ancient Greek image of the Titan Atlas holding up the sky. However, instead of holding up the sky, the sculpture depicts a young girl bearing the weight of the ocean's ceiling. It symbolizes the connection between humanity and the natural world, particularly the ocean. The sculpture stands impressively at around 18 feet or 5.5 meters tall and weighs over 60 tons. However, creating the sculpture underwater in parts and then assembling it was a complex task. The Ocean Atlas sculpture, along with other artworks in the sculpture garden, was created to divert divers away from the natural reefs. This gives the reefs much needed time to recover and regenerate, preserving the marine underwater environment.
Squids have elongated bodies, 8 arms, 2 tentacles, and are fast swimmers. Generally, they're not dangerous to humans, but they're strong enough if they have to defend themselves. There are several species of squid, of which the colossal squid is the largest known species of squid. There are century-old stories going around of fishermen who would have come across giant squids that they also called the Kraken. The Kraken are said to have grabbed men from their boats and taken them to the bottom of the ocean. Although it's unclear whether this story really happened, we know that there are giant squids. Luckily, these squids live at enormous depths, but in this video, a diver encounters a fairly large squid. I honestly don't know what I would find scarier, the enormous size of this squid, or that everything around them in the ocean is pitch black. It makes you think what other scary sea creatures can still hide in the deep oceans.
Did you know that the bottom of the Baltic Sea is plagued by the presence of time bombs? About 300,000 tons of ammunition from World War II were dumped in the Baltic Sea, including chemical warfare agents. This ammunition was discarded without considering the potential hazards in the future. In German waters alone, it's estimated that there's about 300,000 tons of ammunition, with the Kohlberger Hyde ammunition dumping site near Kiel being an example. In this area, approximately 35,000 tons of sea mines and torpedoes lie at the maximum depth of 39 feet, or 12 meters, visible from the shore. However, this raises important questions about how people should deal with these contaminated sites. One option is to leave them as they are and accept the slow release of toxic substances. However, this approach carries the risk of the metal casings breaking or even exploding. Another option is to bury the ammunition, but this also comes with many risks. Welcome to the city of Baia, also known as the sister city of Pompeii. Baia went down by the flames of the same volcanoes that struck Pompeii, only instead of being petrified and buried, Baia went down in the Bay of Naples. From 100 BC to 500 AD, Baia functioned as the Las Vegas of the world. It was where Rome's powerful elite went. Among the visitors were Nero and Caesar, who built infamous vacation villas there. But then the city sank because of the same natural volcanic eruptions they used to build spas. Now divers can explore this forgotten city and see for themselves the ruins with their still preserved statues. The Aquarius Reef Base is the world's only undersea research laboratory located off the coast of Key Largo, Florida. The lab provides a habitat for scientists to live and work underwater for extended periods, allowing them to conduct various scientific experiments, gather data, and gain deeper insights into marine ecosystems. The Aquarius Reef Base is a state-of-the-art facility consisting of a long cylindrical structure called the habitat. This underwater habitat is pressurized to match the ambient pressure of the surrounding ocean, allowing scientists to be comfortable without the need for decompression. Researchers have the ability to study a wide range of marine topics, including coral reefs, marine life, oceanography, and climate change. The unique underwater location of the lab offers several advantages. It enables scientists to directly observe marine life and behavior without the constraints of diving gear or time limitations. Researchers can also study the effects of prolonged exposure to the underwater environment on human physiology and psychology. In 1985, a captain of a boat named Paul Hepler found something on his manometer that had never been discovered before. He found locomotives at the bottom of the ocean near Long Beach, New Jersey in the United States. The locomotives were said to be from the year 1850 and were very rare because they were made only for a short period of time. As archaeologists went on to investigate, they discovered that the locomotives had been at the bottom of the ocean for about 160 years. Although they looked rusty, they were still in good condition. It's thought that they probably fell from the ship onto the water during a storm. However, this is just a theory, because it's unclear how the locomotives were sunk. Historical data has never been able to explain this. The final plan was to take the two locomotives out of the water and place them in a transport museum, but as far as I could find, that hasn't happened yet. In Florida, alligators are a common sight in lakes, rivers, swamps, and even some coastal areas. They are known for their large size and can reach lengths of up to 15 feet or 4.5 meters, although individuals longer than 4.5 meters are quite rare. The alligator in this video, however, is longer than 15 feet or 4.5 meters. Even if you encounter a baby alligator, keep in mind that they can become defensive if they feel threatened or if their territory is intruded upon. Alligators have powerful jaws and a strong bite force, allowing them to inflict serious damage or worse. Note that alligators are more active during warmer months, so encounters might be more likely during those periods. If you encounter an alligator underwater, it's generally best to move away from it slowly and calmly. Avoid sudden movements or splashing that could startle the alligator, and never turn your back on it. It's important to remember that alligators are powerful swimmers, so simply swimming away might not be enough to escape them. It's not every day you find two underwater caves connected to each other containing ancient Mayan relics. A group of divers did just that, leading to the unveiling of the world's largest flooded cave. They discovered the Sakatum, a 163-mile or 263-kilometer cave system, combined with the Dos Ojos system, a 52-mile or 83-kilometer system. Earlier, the oldest human skeleton in the New World was discovered there. More than that, this cave has incredible potential to shed light on some ancient Mayan civilizations and their customs. Now that these two systems have been combined, they actually hold the key to an ancient labyrinth, which is 217 miles or 350 kilometers in length. Inside are the remains of the first settlers of the United States and Mayan cultures. The underwater cave is far from fully explored, and divers say that there is much more to discover. Multiple World War II aircraft wrecks have been discovered on the floor of the Pacific Ocean after being lost for over 70 years. Resting at a depth of 131 feet or 40 meters, more than 150 planes are surrounded by coral and marine life. Among the historic American aircraft found are Douglas SB Dauntless dive bombers and TBM Avengers. These aircraft were part of the strategy of the U.S. Armed Forces, involved in the island-hopping campaign across the Pacific Ocean, bringing them within range of the Japanese mainland. The discovered aircraft were not crashed and were left due to wartime incidents. Instead, they were intentionally pushed into the sea undamaged after the war's end. Remarkably, they've been well preserved, with only a few broken tails and wings scattered on the seafloor. Diving to sea wrecks might seem cool, but encountering aircraft underwater feels eerie, as planes are usually associated with the sky. The next creature on this list, with the name Phronima, you definitely don't want to encounter in your nightmares. The Phronima is a parasite of about 2.5 centimeters long, with gigantic eyes and razor-sharp claws. Prey has no chance to get away because this creature has a transparent body and is therefore difficult to see through the surrounding water. The creature would also have been the inspiration for the movie Alien. You can find them in any ocean, and what makes this creature so creepy is that they're looking for zooplankton, also called salps, a collection of organisms in the sea. The Phronima uses its claws to get inside these organisms, and then temporarily makes its home there. After that, he sails with the organism, eating food and water until he finds his next prey. The creepy thing about these creatures is that you won't encounter them just like that, because they're practically invisible, but under a microscope, they look incredibly creepy. Beneath the Baltic Sea and beneath the English Channel lies an unparalleled insight into the lives of early human civilization during the Stone Age. In the Baltic Sea, Swedish divers discovered an ancient settlement estimated to be around 11,000 years old. Artifacts found at the site, including tools, harpoons, and the bones of ancient cattle, suggest that it was once inhabited by Swedish nomads. The preservation of these remains is exceptional, offering a glimpse into the activities and lifestyle of people from Nordic regions during that period. Similarly, erosion in the English Channel has revealed the remains of a busy Stone Age settlement located near the Isle of Wight. This site, dating back approximately 8,000 years, provides evidence of human activity during a time when Europe and Britain were still connected by land. Excavations revealed 2 hearths and burnt wood fragments with cut marks, indicating active human engagement at the location. This underwater Mesolithic settlement is considered unique in its kind in Britain, and likely forms part of a larger area of habitation yet to be explored. Imagine stumbling upon what was once the most feared and terrifying weapon of the Swedish Navy. This is Mars, one of the Northern Europe's most fearsome ships, which was used in the Northern 7 Years' War and sank to the bottom in 1564. Its remains were found at the bottom of the Baltic Sea near the Swedish island of Åland in 2011. The diver who had found the ship discovered skeletal parts, as well as guns and hand grenades. Every inch of the sunken ship shows that it didn't go down easily, and provides a glimpse of an intense battle centuries ago. At the time it sank, there were about 1,000 men on board. Now the wreck lies so deep underwater that only professional divers and ROVs can film it. Could you imagine stumbling upon such a legendary vessel? The delta P phenomenon in diving refers to the potential danger caused by pressure differences, specifically in underwater environments. This pressure difference occurs when 2 bodies of water with different pressures come together, creating a force as high-pressure water tries to flow into low-pressure water. This force can pose significant risks for divers, leading to accidents and even fatal incidents. A tragic incident related to the delta P phenomenon occurred in 2015 in Nova Scotia and involved a diver named Luke. Luke drowned while attempting an inspection at a Nova Scotia power facility. His death highlighted the hazards associated with delta P and prompted calls for improved safety measures and awareness within the diving community. The incident sparked discussions about the need for changes in diving practices and regulations to mitigate the risks of delta P. The focus was on ensuring proper training, equipment, and procedures to prevent similar accidents in the future. In May of 2015, a diver got the fright of his life when he was diving and suddenly came across 2 skeletons that had a tea party. He immediately decided to swim to the surface and called the authorities. They decided to take a look, and soon they found out that the skeletons were made of plastic. However, this was not the only time divers came across skeletons, because this seemed to be a bit of a trend. In another video, a number of divers came across skeletons that looked like pirates, with pirate hats, a pirate flag, and other types of objects. When I saw this, it reminded me a bit of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Of course, these weren't real either, but if you see this while diving, you would be scared to death. Why people have put plastic skeletons on the bottom of the rivers is quite unclear. It's a small chance that divers will actually come across them, but it's probably just the intention to scare people. In the 1960s, a fascinating project took place on the French Riviera involving the construction of an underwater miniature city. This unique project was intended as a film set for the movie The Child and the Mermaid. French filmmakers built an underwater city spanning 3,280 square feet, or 1,000 square meters, near a lighthouse called La Formigu. The underwater city featured various structures, including houses, buildings up to 3 feet or 1 meter high, a church, a town, an amphitheater, and even a law office. The ambitious plan was to film certain scenes of the movie in this real underwater environment, but ultimately the filmmakers abandoned the project. Over time, the underwater miniature city was forgotten and neglected on the sea floor, exposed to the elements. It wasn't until 2007 that a local diving company initiated a restoration project to maintain the remaining structures. They're working on restoring the buildings, including the small ceramic tiles and bridges. Today, the underwater city serves as an intriguing dive site for enthusiastic divers and is primarily inhabited by schools of fish. One of the strangest things divers are said to ever have found were ancient medicines discovered under the water in Italy. They were pills that were completely dry and belonged to a historic wreck of the Roman shipping ship, the Relito del Pozzino. The ship sank to the bottom of the sea just off the coast of Tuscany around 120 BC, where it remained for the next 2 millennia. It wasn't until divers were sent down in the 1980s and 90s that the excavation began. They found rotting wood, lamps, ceramic jars, and glass cups from around Palestine, and a ruined chest belonging to an ancient Roman physician. Inside were 136 medicine bottles, a surgical hook, a mortar, and containers with dry pills inside. To their horror, closer examination revealed that the pills contained zinc compounds, pine resin, starch, beeswax, iron oxide, and other materials indicating their use. Researchers believe it must have been an eye medication or eye wash, and that someone didn't get their eye prescription 2,000 years ago. An extraordinary discovery was made by British diver Don Watson off the coast of Norfolk. He found an ancient underwater forest consisting of centuries-old oak tree stumps. The forest, estimated to be around 10,000 years old, was discovered just 300 meters from the shore, at a depth of about 20 feet or 6 meters. The presence of massive tree trunks with branches indicates the scale of grandeur and prehistoric forests that once covered the area. The underwater forest was revealed after severe storms in late 2013 shifted sand and sediment, exposing the hidden remains of the ancient trees. Scientists believe that the forest likely thrived on an ancient landmass known as Doggerland and had connections to continental Europe. During the Mesolithic era, Doggerland connected to Great Britain with the European mainland, providing a route for hunter-gatherers to areas like Germany. Over time, Doggerland was submerged by a tsunami that occurred approximately 8,000 years ago. In June of 2017, a number of divers were looking for treasures in the Swiss lake of Neuchâtel, and at one point, they came across something disturbing. Lake Neuchâtel covers an area of 218 square kilometers and is also the largest lake in Switzerland. When they were quietly diving, they suddenly came across a giant shark with huge teeth. Luckily, it wasn't a real shark, but I think I would have been shocked if you encountered this in the murky water. One of the divers captured everything on camera and uploaded the footage to his YouTube channel titled Baudry's Shark. Baudry is a small town near Lake Neuchâtel where the shark was found. Unfortunately, I couldn't find out who created this artwork and who left it in the water. But I think it was meant to frighten people, and I think it certainly did. In recent underwater expeditions, divers have discovered and salvaged the oldest known hand-sewn boat, dating back approximately 3,000 years. This remarkable find has shed light on ancient shipbuilding techniques and provided valuable insights into history. The shipwreck, known as the Zambrataja, was found off the coast of Croatia in the Mediterranean Sea. It's a completely hand-sewn vessel, distinguishing it from other ancient boats. The ship is an important archaeological discovery, as it represents a rare surviving example of ancient shipbuilding tradition in the regions of Istria, Dalmatia. The vessel was constructed using flexible fibers to stitch pieces of wood together. This technique was common before and after the introduction of metal components. The construction of the boat stands out for its uniqueness in the Mediterranean region. The current goal is to bring the remains of the ship ashore to further research and preservation. Once on land, researchers will reconstruct the vessel and carefully study its materials, dating, and woodworking techniques. The USS Saratoga was a sight to behold. The ship was 879 feet, or 268 meters long, and weighed about 39,000 tons. It was one of the US Navy's first aircraft carriers. The USS Saratoga features a naval history and participated in battles ranging from the attacks on Pearl Harbor to the Battle of Iwo Jima. During its lifetime, the ship, nicknamed Sarah, endured fires on the hangar deck, 2 starboard bomb blasts, and numerous torpedoes.
It then served as a target for Operation Crossroads, testing nuclear weapons. It survived the first test, but the second brought it to its knees. Now divers can find it at a depth of 170 feet, or 52 meters in the lagoon of Bikini Atoll. Finding and exploring it's like walking through a graveyard, especially considering that the cockpit is buried under 2 million tons of coral and sand due to the explosion. The Enigma machine is a device used by Nazi Germany during World War II to encode military messages. One of these machines was discovered in the depths of the Baltic Sea. Divers exploring the ocean floor stumbled upon this historical artifact while searching for abandoned fishing nets. Initially, the Enigma machine was mistaken for a typewriter by one of the divers. However, upon closer examination, they realized they had found something much more significant. Enigma machines played a crucial role in encrypting German military communication to prevent Allied forces from intercepting and deciphering sensitive information about troop movements and strategic plans. The Enigma machine was found in the Baltic Sea and is believed to have originated from a German warship. U-boats, powerful submarines deployed by the German Navy during the war, typically carried Enigma machines. It's thought that the Enigma machine ended up in the sea during the war's final stages, when the Germans scuttled naval submarines in Gelting Bay to prevent them from falling into Allied hands. When you hear the word pharaoh, you probably think of Cleopatra, but according to a new study, there would have been a pharaoh who's not really talked about. Around the year 335 to 310 BC, there was a dark-skinned pharaoh named Nastasin who ruled all of Nubia, an area that is now the north of Sudan and southern Egypt. A number of underwater archaeologists led by Paul Kreisman were looking for the burial chamber of the pharaoh that was found meters deep under one of the pyramids. Because the area where they had to dive was quite cramped, they could not use normal tanks, but a 45-meter-long hose had to supply them with oxygen. Now, over the years, there's been many grave robbers who have stolen valuables, but because the sarcophagus of Nastasin was well hidden, it had not been touched. They've been able to find several artifacts, but so far the sarcophagus of Nastasin has not been opened. Madagascar, also known as the Eighth Continent, is a unique and biodiverse island off the southeast coast of Africa. It hosts a wide range of remarkable species, including lemurs. Lemurs are a group of primates found exclusively in the wild on Madagascar. However, an underwater cave in Madagascar recently revealed an extraordinary discovery: the largest collection of extinct lemur bones ever found. These bones offer valuable insights into the diversity and size of lemurs that lived in Madagascar thousands of years ago. Among the remarkable findings were some of the extinct lemurs as large as gorillas, which is astonishing given the relative size of most lemurs today. The discovery sheds light on the incredible evolutionary history of lemurs on the island. Lemurs come in various sizes and are known for their unique adaptations and behaviors. They also fulfill roles similar to those of monkeys and other primates found elsewhere in the world. Stories of ancient sailors reporting the Kraken haunting their ships and similar tales are often dismissed by us. But what about this mysterious World War I attack? What we know so far is that the wreck of a German U-boat sank to the bottom just off the coast of Stranraer in South Scotland. The wreck was found when engineers were exploring the €1 billion project designed to lay undersea power cables between England and Scotland. Instead, they discovered a 100-year-old U-boat, strangely intact. According to folklore, the vessel had been attacked by a sea monster. According to Captain Kretsch, the commander of the U-boat, a sea monster had appeared when they came to the surface to recharge their batteries. The sea creature reportedly had large eyes, a horned skull, and teeth that glinted in the moonlight. According to the story, the captain and his crew fired at the beast until it finally retreated into the water. An unidentified flying object spotted in Hawaii 2021 garnered significant attention. It caught so much attention that it led to the involvement of the United States Federal Service. The UFO was observed by multiple people who claimed to have seen a large blue object fall from the sky. They said the object landed in the ocean near Haleakala Avenue in Nanakuli, Hawaii. Several videos of the incident showed the object moving at an incredible speed across the night sky. One witness even followed the object in her car, but the investigation ended when the object appeared to silently disappear into the ocean. While the exact nature and origin of the object remain unknown, internet speculation ranges from aliens to potential military technology. The FAA, responsible for overseeing civil aviation in the United States, is reported to have carefully investigated the incident. They stated that there were no plane crashes near the location where the object vanished into the ocean. So where did this UFO come from, and what could it have been? What's your theory? In July of 2019, a professional diver named Bartolomeo Bove encountered a giant green anaconda snake in the Formosa River in Brazil. The snake was an incredible 7 meters long with a weight of 90 kilograms and swam quietly around. At one point, the snake even got close to the camera. Green anacondas are the largest species of snakes in the world, and you can mainly find them in rivers and swamps in the tropical parts of South America. So it's not strange that the man encountered an anaconda, but it is unusual to encounter a giant anaconda in clear water. In the Brazilian community of Bonito, where the snake was discovered, it's one of the few places where the water is crystal clear. As you can see in the footage, the snake is swimming quietly and doesn't mind the presence of the man at all. Snakes usually wake up between July and August, and although they have just come out of hibernation, they seem to be mainly curious. The oarfish is associated with mythological sea dragons in Japanese folklore, and it's believed that when this fish washes up on beaches, it's a harbinger of an earthquake. There's speculations that oarfish, which normally reside in deep waters, might be sensitive to seismic activity, causing them to move to more shallow waters. However, scientific evidence linking this fish as a reliable predictor of earthquakes is lacking. In July 2023, a group of divers off the coast of Ruifang, Taiwan, encountered a massive oarfish with mysterious holes in its body. Some suggested that these were shark bites, and the fish had survived an attack from a shark or another sea monster. Oarfish mainly inhabit deep waters and are rarely observed at the surface. What do you think brought this fish to the surface? Was it fleeing something, or was it attempting to serve as a warning for an earthquake? What's your take? This next topic has to be one of the most baffling, unsolved mysteries of all time. What happened to the $330,000 underwater research station off the coast of Germany that disappeared without a trace? The last report sent by the WWII observatory was around 8 p.m. in late August. And then came radio silence. Naturally, the scientists immediately sent divers to investigate. When the divers arrived at the site, they saw that the entire research station had disappeared, and all that remained was a shredded fiber optic cable. So, what could have happened? According to the story, the research station was in forbidden waters, an area where even local fishermen were not allowed to go. Some people claim that sea monsters took the research station to the depths of the ocean. Perhaps a creature the size of the Kraken did this. However, the lost data on environmental conditions in the area would have been priceless. The Rumu underwater prison is a fascinating site located in Estonia that once served as a Soviet labor camp. Today it stands as a partially submerged ruin in the middle of a quarry-turned-lake. The history of the prison dates back to the late 1930s, with the construction of the first prison cell in 1949. Originally situated in the limestone quarry, prisoners were forced to work there. After the collapse of the USSR, the site was abandoned, and groundwater flooded the quarry. Finnish urban explorers, known as Abandoned Nordic, ventured into this underwater world to capture its eerie beauty. Diving in the Rumu Lake possesses challenges, especially during the icy winter months when temperatures drop to around 3 to 4 degrees Celsius. To combat the extreme cold, divers utilize dry suits. The lake itself is shallow, with an average depth of 20 to 33 feet, or 6 to 10 meters, allowing divers not to worry about decompression sickness. The main building, partially submerged, enables exploration both above and below the water's surface. Divers can see remnants of the prison, including moss-covered buildings, underwater walls with intact lamps, and even visible bars on some windows. Would you like to explore this place? Let me know in the comments. In 1984, marine archaeologist Ehud Galili discovered an ancient sunken Neolithic village off the coast of the town of Haifa in Israel while investigating shipwrecks. This sunken village would have existed during the Stone Age about 11,000 years before Christ. Scientists think that a tsunami of 40 meters high caused the area to be flooded, and inhabitants were forced to leave their homes. The first thing the diver found was a mysterious stone circle at a depth of about 10 meters where the residents probably held rituals. They also found remains of partial houses and a 10-meter deep well. The special thing about everything is that because of the sandy seabed, everything is pretty well preserved. Many mysteries lie at the bottom of the Black Sea. One of the things found there is the oldest intact shipwreck in the world. The Greek merchant ship was found completely intact, complete with its mast, and estimated to be over 2,400 years old. The wreck is remarkably well preserved due to the lack of oxygen in the Black Sea's dead zone. The shipwreck is of great importance, as its design matches images of ships found in ancient Greek pottery, such as the famous Siren vase, displayed at the British Museum.
The discovery also relates to the mythical story of Odysseus from Homer's poem The Odyssey. The story tells how Odysseus resisted the enchanting song of the sirens by tying himself to the mast of the ship. The newly discovered shipwreck bears resemblance to the vessel depicted on the siren vase, further connecting it to the ancient Greek legend. The deep water conditions, characterized by a lack of oxygen, have also contributed to preservation of the ship and its organic materials. Be careful what catches your eye when scuba diving. In the depths of Cumbria's Lake District, the deepest lake in northwest England, there's an underwater garden hidden of gnomes. Usually, the water there is attractive to divers because of its clarity, the rare freshwater sponges nearby, and the beautiful cliffs in the near distance. The mysterious thing about this place is that over the years, a secret garden of garden gnomes has grown up there, each posing at the bottom of the lake. They're still there to this day, even though the authorities have done their best to remove them. In the mid-1990s, 3 divers lost their lives in the same waters. But every time the authorities try to get rid of the gnomes, they mysteriously are reinstated. Archaeologist Mat Parika, while studying satellite images of the coastline of Croatia, discovered a large shallow area on the seabed off the eastern coast of the island of Korčula. He and his colleagues decided to dive to the location and found something they believed to be a Neolithic settlement dating back to around 4500 BC. The settlement was built on a small piece of land connected to the main island by a narrow strip. Remains of stone walls surrounding the settlement were found, along with tools and other objects used by ancient inhabitants. The discovery is unique because it's rare to find a Neolithic settlement built on an island connected to the mainland by a narrow strip. Most Neolithic findings are typically made in caves, making this discovery even more exceptional. The curious aspect is that no similar findings of a Neolithic settlement built on land-connected islands have ever been reported. However, the location of the settlement has played a significant role in its preservation. Unlike many parts of the Mediterranean, the area is protected from large waves by surrounding islands. This has helped safeguard the site from natural destruction over time. The Mariana Trench is the deepest location on Earth, with a depth of about 11 kilometers. This place is located in the Pacific Ocean, east of the Philippines. The Mariana Trench is named after the Mariana Islands that are nearby. Only a handful of people have reached the deepest point, known as the Challenger Deep. If you reach the aphotic zone at the depth of 1,000 meters, you have reached the point where it's at complete darkness, without any light. You'd think nothing could live here, but at these depths and even deeper live the most creepy marine creatures, including the anglerfish, the dragonfish, the frilled shark, and the goblin shark, and even many, many more. Because only a handful of people have explored this place, it's quite possible that there are marine creatures living here that we don't even know. Easter Island, also known as Rapa Nui, is a remote island in the southeastern Pacific Ocean. It's a special territory of Chile and is famous for its remarkable archaeological sites, especially the large stone statues known as moai. The moai are massive stone sculptures created by the Rapa Nui people, and they were carved from volcanic rock between the 13th and 16th centuries. They vary in size, with the largest statues reaching heights of over 29 feet or 9 meters and weighing multiple tons. In total, there are believed to be more than 900 stone statues found on the island. One of the biggest mysteries is how they managed to transport these stone statues to the island. Beneath the ground, not only the heads of the moai are located, but also complete bodies with feet and hands. A mysterious underwater moai has also been found by divers exploring the area. However, some stories suggest that this particular statue may not be of Rapa Nui origin. Rumors suggest that it was placed there by actor Kevin Costner for a 1994 film called Rapa Nui. For more than half a millennium, this medieval ship has been under the surface of the water. The monster figurehead belongs to a wreck discovered in the 1970s in the Baltic Sea near Ronneby, Sweden. The most striking feature is the one that must have given divers the fright of their lives: the figurehead, a dragon-like sea creature with the ears of a lion and the mouth of a crocodile. The story behind it is quite impressive. The figurehead was once attached to a 15th century ship called the Gripshunden. The ship belonged to none other than the Denmark's King John. It participated in many wars, but it was lost on its journey from Copenhagen to Kalmar on the east coast of Sweden after it caught fire. Here it remained until one day it was found by divers. Today it's hailed as one of the best preserved medieval ships in history. Anterotos, also known as Cleopatra's underwater palace, is an archaeological site off the coast of Alexandria, Egypt. The site was discovered by underwater archaeologists Frank Gaudio and Ashraf Abdul Rauf in 1996.
It was found that the area was carefully prepared for urban development around 250 BC. The underwater palace lies about 16.5 feet or 5 meters below the surface and is believed to be the potential resting place of Cleopatra. Cleopatra ruled over Egypt until it was conquered by the Romans, and she took her own life after her kingdom was defeated in the Battle of Actium. However, the palace and the surrounding area were tragically destroyed in the year 365 by a severe earthquake that caused a devastating tsunami. This earthquake is considered one of the largest in the ancient Mediterranean region and caused widespread destruction in Alexandria and the surrounding areas. The underwater side of Antirotos offers a fascinating glimpse into the past. It houses various structures and artifacts, including a 98-foot or 30-meter-long shipwreck, 23 feet or 7-meter tall pillars, granite blocks from various temples, sphinxes, statues, and more. The site has yielded over 20,000 objects and artifacts, making it one of the most significant archaeological sites ever.
The ocean can sometimes truly seem like a bottomless abyss, and this next one is proof of it. A French freediver, Yame Neri, took a dive into the darkness of Dean's Blue Hole, the largest blue water sinkhole in the world. It's no wonder his video has been viewed millions of times. Dean's Blue Hole is located on the coast of the Long Island in the Bahamas, and its deepest point is an incredible 663 feet or 202 meters. Could you imagine what you might find down there? Yame described the event as a liberation, and he says that when you take this dive, it feels like escaping gravity and being able to fly free with open arms. Have you ever dived and found something, or would you like to dive? Let us know in the comments. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos we made, click one on the screen or take a look at the channel. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.